Old age doesn't come with a warning. It doesn't arrive with a specific date or announcement. It comes gradually, slowly, like the evening light creeping through the window, gentle, but undeniable. Some grow old with peace in their hearts, but many carry with them burdens they never talk about. Not burdens on their backs, but ones that live deep in their chest, not visible to the eyes, but felt every day. Today, we'll talk about 7 invisible burdens that many elders still carry, quietly, unknowingly, and sometimes painfully. 1. The burden of always having to be strong. For decades, you've been the pillar of your family, the one who held everything together, the one who never complained. But now, in your later years, you're tired. You need someone to ask, "How are you?" Really? You long for a gentle word, a warm touch, a safe space to be vulnerable. But you don't say it. You don't ask. Because you've learned to keep it in, to stay strong. You think, "I shouldn't trouble them. They're busy." You've confused silence with strength. But true strength is not about pretending you're fine. True strength is being able to say, "I'm not okay, and that's human." 2. The burden of what could have been. I should have forgiven him. I shouldn't have said those things that day. I wish I'd told her I loved her one last time. At this stage in life, many seniors carry deep regrets, for words left unsaid, apologies never made, love left hanging in silence. You may still carry guilt over a misunderstanding that happened 20 years ago. You may still replay an argument you had with someone who's no longer here. These thoughts grow heavy over time, and become the burden of what if. But regrets don't bring healing. Compassion does. It's never too late to forgive yourself, and to find peace, even with an imperfect past. 3. The burden of objects that carry memories. An old shirt your late husband used to wear. A chair your father always sat in. Stacks of notebooks. Dusty cups. Broken clocks, all kept in boxes that haven't been touched in years. You don't keep them because they're useful, you keep them because they hold something deeper. But sometimes, those objects begin to feel more like anchors than keepsakes. Memories don't live in things. They live in you. Letting go of objects isn't betrayal. It's making space for new moments, new breaths, a present that deserves to be lived fully. 4. The burden of always saying yes. You say yes, even when you're tired. You agree to go, even when you'd rather stay home. You put on a smile, even when your heart just wants quiet. Why? Because you're afraid to disappoint. Afraid someone might think you're ungrateful, or too old to participate. But every time you say yes when your body says no, you chip away at your own peace. It's not selfish to set boundaries. Saying no is not rejection, it's self-respect. At this age, you've earned the right to choose where your energy goes, and who gets it. 5. The burden of feeling useless. Once, you were needed, for your hands, your skills, your knowledge. Now, you may feel like no one asks for your opinion. No one listens. No one needs you the way they used to. You start to feel invisible. But your worth was never in what you produced. Your value is in who you are, and all you've become. You still have stories to tell, wisdom to share, love to give. You are not less, you are more. Because everything you've been through has shaped someone deeply human, deeply valuable. 6. The burden of waiting for something that may never come. You wait for the phone to ring. You wait for a knock at the door. You wait for someone to remember your birthday. You wait for someone to say, "I'm sorry." You wait for someone to ask, "Are you doing okay?" And you keep waiting. One day turns into another, and silence becomes your companion. Waiting becomes a habit, and then it becomes a burden. But here's the truth. You don't have to wait to be happy. You can start giving yourself the love you've been waiting for, right now. Drink your favorite tea. Take that walk. Write that letter. Smile at that neighbor. Don't wait for someone to make your life feel important. It already is. 7. The burden of fearing death. No one talks about it, but everyone thinks about it. You might fear what comes after. You might worry about who will take care of things. You might dread leaving behind a mess, emotionally, financially, or spiritually. And so you avoid making a will. You avoid conversations about legacy. You avoid the truth, because facing it feels too heavy. But the irony is this: the more you avoid death, the more you fear it. And the moment you begin to talk about it, to plan for it, to face it with honesty, the fear begins to fade. You don't need to pretend death doesn't exist. You need to make peace with it, so that you can truly live. Thought bubble emoji. Final thoughts. If any of these burdens feel familiar, you're not alone. So many elders around the world are quietly carrying these same invisible weights. But just because you've carried them for a long time, doesn't mean you have to carry them forever. You can let go, gently, gradually, honestly, and when you do, you'll feel something you may not have felt in a long time: lightness. You'll realize that life doesn't end when you stop working, or when someone passes away, or when your body slows down. It continues, and it can be beautiful. Letting go isn't forgetting. Letting go is making space for new joy, for new peace, for yourself. Thank you for being here. If this video spoke to you, please share it with someone who may need to hear it too. And leave a comment. We'd love to hear your story, because here at Wisdom for Seniors, your voice matters, your life matters, and it's never too late to live it with intention.